Tell me about Ozempic. What are the pros, the cons, the benefits? Because people ask me about Ozempic all the time. I'm not familiar with it as you are.
Yeah, and let's keep it simple. A lot of the people out there just look at one thing. They want to lose weight. You listen to anybody, and it's all the rage. Look, everybody's taking it now.
Yeah.
But you got negative side effects to everything you do. So again, in my personal opinion, the Ozempic, let's say me as a bodybuilder, big guy, I did want to get cut up. It's not going to be my first choice of drug to lose weight. But I would say if I was going to do another competition and I'm the last 6-8 weeks and I'm just eating my damn hands off, like I can't control it because I'm getting super low calories, no carbs, Ozempic could be that drug for me where I could microdose it daily and it would just help me curb my appetite so I can actually sleep at night. It actually does have good benefits that it reduces kind of inflammation and swelling in the body. It has good benefits, and obviously it helps with weight loss too.
For what I understand, the only way it really helps with weight loss, it just makes you less hungry?
In layman's terms, yeah. I mean, the biggest thing is that it just suppresses the appetite big time, based on your dosage, obviously, things like that. Now, again, there are that 1% of the population out there too that like a GLP-1 or the GLP-1 mixed with a GIP.
Well, what's
like,
the GLP-1?
So the GLP-1 is like the Ozempic.
That's what Ozempic is.
Exactly. And then you have like its big brother, which they call it their Zeppatide, which is a GLP-1 and a GIP. So they just hit different receptors and different things. We won't get into like the scientific portion. No one's going to really understand that, but it's like it being twice as strong as the other one. Then there's like Retatrutide, which is like a 3-in-1. So it's super, super powerful.
So Ozempic's not even the strongest shit.
Yeah, like your Semaglutide, which is kind of the street name, layman's terms that most people understand, or Ozempic. Yeah, the main things it's going to do is suppress the appetite. But that 1% of the population, a lot of people don't know, won't react to it at all. Like,
oh, really?
We have patients come in and they do great on the Semaglutide or Ozempic. They'll lose 15, 20 pounds in however long. And then they'll want to switch and get something strong. Try Zeppatide, does nothing for them. So just so you guys out there know, again, it's just like anything else. Some people react well, some people don't react.
Now, I heard that people also lose a lot of muscle when they take Ozempic.
Exactly. So that's kind of that thing that people don't want to talk about. A lot of the studies out there, and I know we'll put one up later, you know, the true study is either one of those drugs, you take it for 52 weeks, you can lose about 15% body mass. And that's how they word it, body mass. So you're looking at overall weight is what your body mass is. Let's say you're 300 pounds and you want to lose 60 pounds. You probably lose 60 pounds in a year, but how much of that was muscle, how much of that was fat, and how much of that was water? You're going to really lose mainly muscle.
You lose mostly muscle when you take Ozempic? Well, like some people who are on Ozempic, they look kind of funny.
I'm calling them like they're like shriveled up prunes.
Yeah,
so,
they say that something called the Ozempic face, because they zip all the muscle in their face.
Yeah, because you're losing muscle. You're not really losing the fat, so the skin gets saggy and loose, and the tone changes. But again, we'll touch on it later, but I'll hop into it. There's an awesome drug and a huge study they came out with that looks very promising. They're doing it with rats right now. It's a drug called follistatin, or I say drug, it's another peptide, but it's a protein based. You can take that with, these GLP-1s, GIPs, and you can actually lose fat with it and put on muscle. So they're synergistic together. Incredible. So this is something new coming out. It's almost like they're creating all these designer drugs. Anabolics and stuff, and we're going to get into that later, is almost going out the window. It's like old school shit. We're starting to just completely get away from that. Here in the next, I'd say 2-3 years, if you're bodybuilder, testosterone, masteron, all the derivatives of testosterone, those are going to be a thing of the past. We're going to have something else. We're not even going to use that shit anymore. It's just going to be obsolete because there's too many negative side effects. Yeah, that's the direction they're going with all these new designer drugs and peptides.
Who is Ozempic for and who's it not?
That's not something I can directly answer, as a doctor. I think it can be for everybody, but like you said, it's the application of it. So, like, it's not something that I want to take or I've ever thought about taking, but like I said, if I did a bodybuilding show, I would use it to suppress my appetite a little bit. A big time calorie deficit, really more for me not to lose weight or lose fat, just to suppress my appetite. Okay. Because the thing is, if I'm bodybuilding, it's a great drug to utilize for its purpose for me. I know I'm eating all my protein. Let's say I weigh 250 pounds right now. Well, I'm getting 300 grams of protein in a day. Let's say I'm only doing 100 carbs because I need to be in a deficit to lose fat, and I'm doing maybe 60 grams of fat. Well, as long as I'm getting all my protein and all that, I'm not going to lose the muscle, even if I use some of the semaglutide. But like I said, the lay public people, they're just going about their normal life. Yeah, they're taking this stuff, and like I said, they're not exercising. They're using it as a crutch to try to lose weight, and they're not eating macronutrients that they need. So then that's why they're losing this massive amount of muscle tissue. If you stop eating protein, what do you think is going to happen? You're definitely going to lose muscle even without Ozempic, but it's like that tenfold because the Ozempic's taking away your appetite. You don't want to eat anything, so you're basically just going into starvation mode. And then obviously when you come off this stuff, it's really bad because then you go back to eating 3 times as much as you were before, and you're going to blow back up, lots of inflammation, because these people, what I say is, they have a mouth problem. They can't control their damn mouths. They have no discipline.
So theoretically, if you took Ozempic, but you made sure you hit your protein intake,
exactly,
right? And you make sure you at least hit a minimum amount of calories.
In my personal opinion, you would keep your muscle mass.
Keep the muscle.
And those statistics of just 50, the 52 weeks and 15% body mass, I think would look like a whole different story. They'd have to do a research clinical trial and all that to determine it, which I think would be a good one. I got a lot of friends that take it, you know what I mean, for bodybuilding shows, and they don't lose muscle mass because they're micro-dosing it, very small dose, just enough to control the appetite, help them with sleep, because it does help with sleep.
You with sleep?
Helps sleep, inflammation. Now, the other negative drawback of Ozempic, taking it long term, it does, in a sense, it can weaken your bone, cortical bone. It can cause osteoporosis.
Oh, shit.
Just like one of the other drugs that people don't know about, anastrozole or Arimidex, it's an estrogen blocker. Same thing. Over time, damages your cortical bone. It also has a really negative side effect on your cholesterol level. So it'll increase your LDL and it'll decrease your HDL. So again, if you guys out there don't know, HDL is like your good cholesterol. That's the one that protects your heart. LDL is your bad cholesterol that mainly comes from the foods you eat, in a sense, in layman's terms. So yeah, anastrozole, Arimidex, which blocks estrogen, which is used in male testosterone replacement therapy with your testosterone. We see all these regular doctors giving 2 whole pills a week, which is 2 milligrams. Way too much. It's causing a lot of negative side effects. So they're not really building a true one-off wellness program for each person. That's where TRT can also get a bad rap too, because the docs are just, here's your 200 milligrams of testosterone, shoot it once a week with a big IM needle, and then here, take your whole pill of anastrozole on Monday and Friday, and they give the same shit to everybody. That's not how it's supposed to be. Everyone's hormones are different. Let's say, for instance, your testosterone. If you're taking a standard TRT dose, 200 milligrams, you're breaking it up into 2 shots a week.
Yeah.
And your testosterone's right at the maximum of normal, 1,000. And let's say you're doing your daily workouts, but you're only doing them 4 days a week. Your handstand push-ups, all this shit you normally do, Brandon. Yeah. But then you up it to, you go, I'm ready to up the ante. Let's fucking train 7 days a week. And you start doing that same routine 7 days, your testosterone's not going to be 1,000 anymore. You're going to burn through it. Just like if you floor your car, you're going to burn through more gas.
Really?
Your testosterone total is now going to end up going down to, say, 650, 700, just, in layman's terms to kind of explain the example. That's what'll happen. And you're going to have to bump your dose up. So that's why hormones and all these things with these medical doctors, it's not a one-size-fits-all. Everything has to be custom-built per patient, and you have to keep a hold on it. So at our clinic, we do labs 4 times a year. You get labs at the beginning, we put you on your program. You get labs, about 10 weeks later, we adjust your dosages to hone it in to what's good. You've been on the stuff for, 2 months, constant, nice routine we've given you, so we get a nice baseline, then we make an adjustment to hone it in 100%. And as long as you don't make lifestyle changes or exercise changes, you're good. And we normally kind of check up on that about 6 months later. If you're still good, we keep it there. If you need a little tweak, because let's say you came in and said, hey, doc, I'm working out 2 more days a week. I'm feeling freaking awesome. We're going, okay, we do your labs. Probably going to need to up your dose a little bit.
Dose.
And then say in the wintertime, which Miami, there's not one. But let's say you live somewhere where it's cold. That's what's going to happen. You're going to go lazier. You're not going to want to go to the gym. It's cold. You're going to hibernate. You're going to eat more. We're going to have to back your dose down because you're not going to burn through it. And if you keep taking the same dose, that's when you start getting negative side effects. Higher cholesterol, higher blood pressure, because your levels are going to go. They're going to exceed where they should be, because where we had them perfect at the top at 1,000, you're going to stop working out. Now that testosterone is going to stay in your blood, and your levels are going to rise because you're not burning it off.
I never thought about it.
Does it make sense?
It off?
Yeah. It's a receptor. It binds to your receptors. The different drugs do different things.